We had some good fights, some great talent, and some fights that probably shouldn't have happened. It's Hex Fight Series 33 post-fight show breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event.
Live from HBF Stadium Festival Hall. Melbourne Pavilion.
Not even backstage, we're literally outside.
Was that the best fight card in Australian MMA history?
Call me crazy, but make sure you call me when I'm right.
Be good if the Aussie MMA Instagram page would give us a bit of glow up because
welcome to the Australian MMA podcast. My name is Mitch Tinley, and as of recording, it is 9:14 Australian Western Standard Time, about an hour and a half removed from Hex Fight Series 33, November 23rd, Melbourne Pavilion. We're going to break it down. Look, like I said, if you haven't checked it out, I think you can go see it, Combat Sports Network, or wait the however many couple of weeks, and it should be up on 7+. Now, I enjoyed the addition, first of all, honourable mention, enjoyed the addition of the one and only UFC fighter Josh Culibao to the commentary. He joined the legendary Michael Chiavello and the regionally legendary Frank Barker. They worked great as a team. I liked all three of them. I think that is a commentary team that should stay. It was a lot of fun. Josh is very good, and if he ever retires, I reckon commentary could be in the cards for him. Now, I'm going to leave the main event for the main event and work my way up the card. It's going to be a little bit different. I wrote some notes too. That's why you're seeing me look over here. Now, look, guys, I'm not always going to say the thing that you want to say. I'm not always the fighter that you like, that you're clicking on to go, oh, I wonder what Mitch is going to say about him. It might not be favourable. It doesn't mean I don't like him. It just means that it probably wasn't his night, or it wasn't, as favourable. Not everyone can be one call away from the UFC, okay? Some of us have to sort of break it down a little bit further, okay? You can't just because he's your boy. I know you want your boy to go to the UFC. I know you do. But sometimes he's not ready. And you need a 10-year purple belt to tell you that, okay? So, buckle in. Buckle up, buckle in. Buckle in works. Now, sort of sift through the sort of first bit of the card. Standouts, I liked Ashlenka Wazowski and Kim Tran. That was really, really good. It was a good start to the card. Kim Tran got the chocolates, good for her. Liam Gusty worked hard to get his victory over Jean-Alexander Romano, who is, I think the last time we saw him was at an Eternal card, and he was getting into a bit of a scuffle with Australian top 10. But yeah, I liked that fight. That was a very, very, very fun fight. But yeah, great win for Liam Gusty. Now, I think that was his first official pro win or first official pro fight, and he's coming off the back of a good amateur career, so he's going to do very well. I think heading into Hex Fight Series 33, I said, Oscar Marlowe, sorry, I was not familiar with your game. If that makes you mad, make me familiar with your game. I'm now familiar with your game. For a man that was cutting weight at a public pool, I don't know. I saw his coach post something and it looked like he was cutting weight at a public pool. Don't know what happened there, but the man got the job done against the only man ever exclusively signed to Hex, one Jet Fisher, who I have not asked anyone, but if that man came out and said he had food poisoning or a stroke before the fight, I think I believe him. I don't know if that was like first pro fight jitters or whatever that was, but he looked flat. Now, that's not taking anything away from Mr. Marlowe because he looked amazing. But I think everyone is kind of unanimously in the opinion that like Jet Fisher did not look like a jet at all. He looked like a Cessna. That's a plain joke. Look, he didn't look good. I don't know what was happening there. Jet Fisher is probably going to wear this loss on his sleeve pretty hard. You've got the first one out of the way. Look, the great Jack Della went 0-2 before winning like 16 fights in a row. So don't kind of feel like it's the end of the world. Just buckle up, do what you do. You'll be back, and I'll be here to hype you. when you do. But the night belongs to Oscar Marlowe. So if you didn't know who Oscar Marlowe was, you do now. So hopefully I'm going to try and get him on the show, as he's got at least one fan constantly in my messages saying I'm going to get him on. And I didn't, and I apologise for that. And Oscar Marlowe took that out on Mr. Jet Fisher. But that was a fun fight of just kind of seeing how sort of dominant Oscar Marlowe was. Now, even in that sense, Jet Fisher nearly broke his arm multiple times with the Kimura. But Marlowe just fought through and sort of kept doing work. So, look, that was the shocker of the night for me. And it really sort of kicked this card off to sort of being very important in storylines in Australian MMA. Next fight, Artemis Trepka. Love Trepka. That fight was lame. Just because he's just fighting like, and I don't mean this like I don't try to be disrespectful. I really don't. But like, Artemis Trepka's an absolute. I got in trouble. Multi-fight Invicta fighter Jamie Eaterton said you have to play a drinking game whenever I call someone a stud, because apparently I say it too much. But this one time, I'm going to use it once, just one time. Artemis Trepka, stud. He's going to have a great career. We all know that. He does not need this fight. It probably shouldn't have happened. He needs to fight someone much better. I'd much rather you be 3-0. Once again, I'm not your coach. I don't run a promotion. I'm just a guy in a white T-shirt in Western Australia having his true sense. But look, I would much rather you be 2-0. I'd much rather you be 2-2 and fight like tougher guys. I don't really like these internationals sort of coming in, especially when they're well below par. And I will continue this rant a little bit later on. But Artie Trepka, you're a stud. Fuck, I did it again. Artie Trepka, you're an absolute just pure prospect, like nothing else, and you're an even better person. So I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. But I think sort of we're done flying in the little internationals for him. Just throw him straight to the top. Give him some absolute champions and whatnot. And let's see what he's made of. I know he's young, but let's bloody do it. This comes from a good place, I promise you. Now, there was Emmanuel Riddy. Manny Riddy, who knocked out Ilya from fighting out of Australian Elite Team. That was just a beautiful knockout. I think Manny had a big issue with weight cut, the weight cut heading in. Manny with another knockout. Now, if you've watched some of his amateur records as well, his amateur fights, he just has absolute concrete hands. I think I said this heading into the fight. He has won the novice title in boxing. I would say if he can keep his fighting in the ring, he is going to have a very good career. That's all I can say about that. Next one, Hoshi Friedrich. Now, Hoshi's fought just like he will step up and fight anyone, especially a lot of times throughout his entire career. Once again, fought an international that he did not need to fight. He was way better than. However, he's a guy that has like fought like Kandiata and these guys that are absolute killers, and he's put his sort of health on the line and he's been put to sleep. He's very like talented. He's a very good black belt. And he had a funny post-fight speech, but I don't actually mind this one too much because I think like you kind of give Hoshi, it's definitely not a gimme fight, but you give him that fight that he can definitely 100% win. And if he can't dominate, you go, Hoshi, it's probably not for you type thing. But the fact that he put this guy away, you at least go, okay, cool, you got your win. Let's put you back in there with another killer. And he might put himself in there with a killer, the killer of all killers. He's called out JJ Ambrose. I know they had a bit of a sort of back and forth back in the day. There was some purse issues and such, I hear, through the grapevine, and some contractual stuff or whatever it is, and obviously not on a full camp and whatnot. So he wants JJ Ambrose on a full camp, and I think that will not happen. I don't think it will happen. I'd love to see JJ Ambrose back, but I don't think he will. And if he does, I don't think it will be against Hoshi. But good win for Hoshi. Once again, great guy as well. We now move on to the important fights for me in terms of storylines in Australian MMA. Justin Van Heerden taking out Raph Scott, El Cowboy. A character I didn't see coming in 2024. He wasn't on my bingo list. But Raph Scott, really glad he's back. Did not know he was 38. He looks much younger than that. He did really well, unfortunately, going down. I think he got put to sleep, if I heard the broadcast correct. Frankie Barker said Raph Scott was out cold. I can only imagine refusing to tap like a gangster cowboy that he is. But yeah, Raph Scott hurt Justin Van Heerden. I was really scared there for Justin. I thought Raph was going to put him away. Raph's clearly got all the talent in the world and can stick around as long as he wants to stick around and keep doing this, and hopefully he does because he's very exciting. Justin Van Heerden, though, still hanging on, man. He is an underdog till the day he dies, I tell you that. You write him off and he just keeps showing up. He's called for a lightweight title shot. He wants Kieran Joblin. I know that Hex, or at least what I'm hearing, is that Hex have sort of promised Kieran Joblin a title fight. So why not? Justin Van Heerden, Kieran Joblin for the lightweight crown. I think that's a very, very good fight. Also, if you're Justin Van Heerden, who I saw right here. If they ever want to kind of get Josh Togo back in the mix, I feel like that would be a nice fight as well. Justin Van Heerden versus Togo, or even if you go Togo Joblin for the title and you just tell Justin to go kick rocks. I'm okay with that too, because there was a man that posted. He revealed himself after his fight of the year, fight of the century. That is none other than Harry Webb, who never lost the Hex lightweight title. And I think he said something along the lines of, in my mind, I'm still here, or I'm still the champ. I'm the real champ. I don't have it written down. You guys get the gist. And he's right. He's now obviously over at Eternal MMA as their lightweight champion. Hear me out. Justin Van Heerden, Harry Webb for the lightweight championship at Eternal. Justin Van Heerden is, of course, the sluttiest man in Australian MMA, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's already called Cam O'Neill on his way back to his Hex hotel room. So, look, we'll see how that one pans out. But, look, Justin Van Heerden versus either Kieran Joblin or back at Eternal, Harry Webb. I think that'd be a really nice fight. I think Justin is never going to go away until he reaches the top. Unfortunately, he's probably going to have to, continually overwork and over sort of exceed to ever get an opportunity at the next level, because they just seem to be rude when it comes to Justin Van Heerden. But look, if anyone can sort of prove him wrong and get it done, I do think it is old Lockjaw. So good stuff, old Justin. Moving on to Abdallah Biata. This one hit me in the heart, both good ways and bad ways. Abdallah Biata versus Micahel Barber. Now, Micahel Barber coming over the top and knocking Abdallah Biata out cold, standing up. It is not a good time to be the consciousness of Abdallah Biata. I think in this issue, and by the way, Abdallah looked really good. Probably could have won the fight. I don't know. I wouldn't have been surprised if he lost either. But I thought he was probably going to win the fight if it went to a decision. Abdallah Biata still at the top of the level in terms of skill and all that sort of stuff. But just like how you might have to quit basketball because you've got a bad knee, Abdallah Biata might have to quit MMA because he's got a bad chin. And it's not even chin. It's like temple. Some people have it and some people don't. I think Abdallah Biata just has had not so many hits, but say you've got 10 in your whole life, 10 big ones. His body has only allowed him 6, and he has exceeded that. That's kind of what it feels like. But if you look at his skills, he's still one of the best in Australia, by far. One of the best in the world type thing, and could be. But if your head's and your chin's going to shut off every single time, you can't do much about it. It's not his fault, but it just you can't compete if you're asleep, So that's really sad. So hopefully Abdallah can sort of get that sorted out, because he was well rested coming in as well. So I think he missed weight, but other than that, like, he was like well looked after in the head, and he's very, very intelligent guy. So I don't even know if you can get it checked out or test. I don't know what you can do, but yeah, I don't know how many more shots to the head Abdallah can and should take. On the other hand, Michael Barber, they gave me a little tear in the eye. Like, he is literally, Michael Barber has always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. For a man that has, I think, won 2 out of his last 8 fights, a lot of them like razor close decisions. Some devastating knockouts as well. But Michael Barber's just always so close, and then he always is just on the other end of it, and you could feel it. You could see it in that victory, and then you could feel it in the post-fight interview. Like, Michael Barber just like deserves it. And you know what's great is because Josh Coolabauer called him, all the fighters' favorite fighter type thing. He did exactly that, because as soon as he won, man, he called out Marwan Rahiki, who might be better than George Mangos. Like, he's insane. He's insane. That's what I love about Michael Barber. Now, me personally, I'd rather him take on someone like Dim Skillies for just like toughest cunt of the year, just 2 guys, just 2 rocks, just fighting to the death. And no one dies. We die of old age watching them, because none of them will drop. That's what I want to say. Dim Skillies, Michael Barber for the CTE championship. No, both boys are just the toughest guys and just fighters. They really, really are. So as a selfish fan, that's what I want. But it's a man that I think deserves a bit of shine. I think Marwan Rahiki and Michael Barber, like, go give him another number 1 contenders fight. Like, Abdallah Biata was the champ. He never lost the belt. Justin Van Heerden's not there anymore. He's gone up. George Mangos wants to move on to the UFC and wants to kind of give Marwan Rahiki sort of the shot at the belt. Come March, let's say George gets signed in February. Come around March 1, next Hex show, Michael Barber versus Marwan Rahiki, fucking make it for the belt. I feel like Barber's done enough in terms of like given enough of himself. I don't know. Just spitballing here. Either way, Michael Barber bloody earned it. It hurts my heart a little because I've known Abdallah for a long time, but geez, Michael Barber it's really cool. It's beautiful. That's what I love about the sport. For Abdallah, what's next for him? Yeah, like I said, go get himself sorted, or I've got here Diego Pereira. So maybe a rematch with Diego Pereira. That could be nice, if he wants that. It's a matchup he can have where he might not be taking too many huge shots to the head, but yeah, scary times. Hopefully he is okay. Now, as we move on up the card to my title fights. Now, Colby Thicknesse. He defeated Marvin Malunes via TKO round 1 in the first 4 seconds. Look, he defeated him in the walkout. He defeated him at the weigh-ins. He defeated him when pen was put to paper. We're all aware of that. I think even Justin Van Heerden posted, he said first knockout using 12-6 elbows. I wasn't paying close enough attention, but probably. That fight was lame. I hated that fight. I hated it. I don't even think Colby liked it. And stay with me, because I'm gonna try and articulate this in the orator way that I have tried to craft before recording this. The fight was shit. His last 3 opponents, in the most respectful way possible, have not deserved to be in Colby Thicknesse's corner, let alone his opponent. and I didn't like it. However, who else was going to fight? There wasn't a whole lot of other guys. Now, anyone would have been better, in my humble opinion. And I heard note that Damian Brown said that Paul Logar was available, would have taken that fight. So I don't know what's going on there. But before you think I'm being too critical of Colby Thicknesse, and I've had him on the show, I've said it to him before as well, and he knows I think he is very special. I don't want to see him get the UFC off that at all. I do want to see his striking tested a little bit more, and that's why I have another opponent for him with my suggested matchups. But Colby Thicknesse is going to go to the UFC. He's going to do well, whether you like it or not. And I know you can say, oh, he's biased, but when the former UFC featherweight champion who has known him for 10 years says he is ready for the UFC, you're going to have to believe him. Because although it's his teammate, you don't sing and dance as much as you can about a guy like that if you don't think they have talent. Every man and his dog knows that Colby Thicknesse is UFC caliber. His opponents just aren't. So he's stuck in this weird situation where he deserves the belt more than anyone. There's no better 135 pounder in Australia than Colby Thicknesse. I don't care. I do not care. If you're not signed to the UFC, you are not better than Colby Thicknesse. It's just he doesn't get that crowning moment because he doesn't get that dance partner. And I don't know why it hasn't happened. And even if everyone was healthy, it's as thin as it's ever been at 135 pounds. I think Colby's ready, sorry. I would like to see him take on another man that fell just short of the UFC, Aaron Toe. Because that would test his striking, that would test his head, that would test the concussions, that would test everything. And if he can run through Aaron Toe, I don't see anyone in the world saying he doesn't deserve to be in the UFC. He ticks every other box other than, and he's beaten Michael Mano, who's amazing, but other than like the guy, sort of like that victory to get him in, he's just missing that. I don't want to see him make the UFC off this. And he could, based off just his talent, his skill, people vouching for him, his years of training. Like, you just watch him, you talk to him, he's ready. But I want it to come off like a meaningful victory. And I reckon Aaron Toe is the guy. And hear me out, I know that Aaron Toe has been so loyal to XFC. But at the same time, Aaron Toe knows that he's got to do everything he can to get back to the UFC, to get back on the Contender Series and get in. And there's no one else around. There's going to be no one at XFC for him that's going to do that. Fight each other. Let's make it happen. Winner gets signed. Not even contenders. Just winner gets signed. What's your thoughts? Hit me up, Australian MMA _ or comments, YouTube. That's always great to do it there. But look, that's my thoughts on Colby Thicknesse. Now, I love him. And like I said, you can be mad. I don't care. These are just my thoughts. That fight that he just had was bullshit. He is not. He is fucking special. But he deserves the right launching pad. You do not fly your private jet off of a dirt runway. Like, you just don't. You don't launch it off of that. You don't launch the SpaceX shuttle off of a bamboo pylon. You know? You get me. It's late. Colby, I love you. Please don't kill me. Final two fights. This one was a little bit better. Now, George Mangos taking on Soichi Tomita for the Hex Featherweight Championship. Now, look, not stoked. There were better opponents out there. Sorry, Mr. Damian Brown. But look, I do think there were better opponents out there. It wasn't like the bout we just saw. It was definitely could have been tougher than the end result, but it was all George Mangos. Beautiful head kick. Split him open from the top of his face to his chin. It was just a beautiful head kick. George Mangos adding another beautiful knockout. And once again, going off the back of sort of what he has already done, he's beaten Justin Van Heerden, he's beat Jared Wilbraham, he's beaten Aaron McConnell even earlier in his career. He's done enough. George Mangos has done enough. He's got it all. Well-spoken kid, a big, strong Greek boy. He's young. He's got it all, man. Sign him. He lives in Sydney. February, straight up. Stuart Nickel him. Just sign him straight to the promotion. Put him on there. Let him run wild. You can say, oh, but he hasn't beaten this guy, hasn't beaten that. When he beat Justin Van Heerden, he's ready. That's enough, guys, for me. Then he backs it up, beats Wilbraham. Tomita's good enough that it should have gone 2 or 3 rounds type thing. But for George to just absolutely spark him like that, it proves that he's not even close to his level. George Mangos is an absolute superstar. He's got championship potential, not just in Australia, but in the world, in the UFC. He's got it. Frank Barker on the broadcast talks about like having the mark, like and that's it. Like he's got it. George Mangos is special. Yeah, he really is. He really is. So shout out Mr. Georgie Mangos. His last 3 opponents, I think their total record 31-9. So even though he's, I think, only 6-0 now, just the way he is staying active and beating guys and beating them convincingly, the world is his Euros. Now, if he wanted to sort of fight someone and you wanted to absolutely solidify it so that no one can ever talk shit to you ever again, ever, you can do whatever you want, Mr. George Mangos. Go drop the belt and go fight Seb Saleh in Eternal. Go full circle. And then you win that. There's not a man alive that can tell you don't belong at the highest level. So that's just for bonus points, extracurricular. And finally, main event of Hex Fight Series 33. Kitt the Killer Campbell regaining the Hex Welterweight Championship against Caleb Crazy Horse Rideout. Just beautiful shot. Kitt's just too big. Like I said, he looks like a middleweight. Like he's so big, but yet he was so lean this time around as well. When he was against Matt Vale, he just looked like he looked like a middleweight. He looked huge. Absolutely laid the whooping. But yeah, against Caleb Rideout, he looked good. I like that he beat him striking. I thought like, he might have the grappling advantage, takes Caleb down, beats him up, yada, yada, yada. But the fact that he beat him standing, amazing. I think his next fight, honestly, there's like really nothing left for him. At 170, I'm a bit nervous with the UFC with age. Lately, they seem to really hate 30-year-olds and above. But look, I don't think there's anything left. It's like you can't really welcome back Alden Bates because he's already beat Alden as well. And then Alden sort of had his struggle to even make weight at Eternal. He's not going to fight Stephen Costello. That's an Eternal guy. He's the interim champ. Lockie Stitt's the champion over there. It's like, does he fight John Varkey? James Varkey? I don't know. There's not much there for Kitt. I reckon he should get his shot at the next level. Or, hear me out. Kitt's looking big. Middleweight championship. Champ. I mean, Kevin Jusay did it. It gives you a lot of sort of pop again. Maybe the UFC goes, he's holding 2 belts now. It's a bit of a challenge for Kitt to stay motivated while the UFC still thinks about it type thing. So, I don't know. What do you reckon? Middleweight championship? I mean, who could he fight? That's interesting in itself. Like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I just think go up, challenge for the middleweight crown, and then two championships. Why wouldn't you get your shot at the next level? For Caleb, Crazy Horse Rideout, I love that guy. He's just one of the best guys. I don't know if it's ring rust or what it is, or if Kitt just caught him, or Kitt was just better, whatever it was. But Rideout did a very good job just sort of getting back from his injuries, and I think he's had multiple sort of issues with it. I would like to see him. I think he walks around at like 78 kilos. So I know he's a bit of a tweener, but I would like him to just attempt one fight at lightweight. Just see how that goes. If not, he can just keep having fun fights, you know? He can just, fight Matt Vale. That's a fun one. But I think if he wants to kind of go to the next level, which I know he does, and he's from that incredible gym, Triple X Academy, and Lockie Stitz there and all those boys and all that sort of stuff. So, either Vale for a fun fight or try and go down, see what's happening on lightweight. But there you go, guys. Hex Fight Series 33. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, most people on this card, if not all of them, love them all. Know they're your friends. Relax. I want them to get there too. But I want them to earn it. And they will. All right. Peace out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Really trying to push that. Grab a t-shirt. ma1combat.com.au. Oz MMA. US MMA in the search bar. Go buy a t-shirt. Helps a lot. Good night, everybody.